Wow, this is totally impressive. What a experience.
It's really quite incredible what you can do with this thing.
Crazy. It literally looks just like Tesla coming through here. So in China, you just have normal sedans that make 800 horsepower and crab walk. Thank you to our sponsors for today's video, InfyPower, Amber, StarCharge, and Eaton. InfyPower is the largest EV charger module provider with over 3 million power modules running reliably worldwide. Their latest G2 collection features ultra-high power density and efficiency for EV charging and energy storage integration. InfyPower, innovation for your power. And Amber, providing modern protection plans for your Tesla's battery and more without the hassle of long-term contracts or upfront payments. Check out the link in the description to explore their plan options and use Spec 5 for a 5% discount on all plans. This video is also brought to you by StarCharge, the largest EV charging manufacturer in the world, and is also a provider of residential and commercial battery storage and microgrid solutions. And finally, Eaton. Eaton is a one-stop shop for implementing reliable and innovative EV charging infrastructure at your site. Across all applications, Eaton's EV charging infrastructure, hardware, and software gives you the scalability, flexibility, and intelligence you need to charge today and scale up tomorrow. Learn more at eaton.com/EVCI.
Hello and welcome to another Out of Spec Reviews video. This is the Tesla Model 3 Performance. We've done so much with this car over the years, and it really does represent such a unique space in the American car market. It's incredibly high quality now with the new revisions. It's incredibly fun to drive, being the performance with track mode and great, fantastic driver assistance. It really is unique, and nothing comes close to it for the price. It is cheap performance. I say cheap lightly because it is $54,000 before tax credits, but it's incredibly fast for the money. It's incredibly high quality, and it is really one of the best values in America. And then you go to China. And this is the IML6. And the IML6 is a direct Tesla Model 3 competitor that, at least on paper, offers more features, more power, just crazy levels of performance and cool tech for way less money than the Tesla Model 3. It's hard to always give an equivalent price on the cars, but at least in our market, the Model 3 Performance is $54,000, $55 grand. This one, being the performance trim with over 750 horsepower, is 42 grand. We'll talk about maybe some of the reasons why it's so inexpensive. I'm going to take you on a full tour, and I'm going to show you what essentially Tesla is going up against in the Chinese market with this IML6. It's pretty freaking crazy. So guys, we're all pretty familiar with the Model 3 Performance. This is something we see now on the road very often for great reason. The new refresh Model 3 has some incredible updates to the styling and quality, and I'd love to show you inside of it if I could open it. Can we open up the car really quick? Come on over here. You can see the interior is typical Tesla. You have the newer seats, you have a big screen in the center, and it is fairly minimal, I would say, but certainly a very nice car and just a huge update from the previous generation. So what the heck is Tesla going up against in the Chinese market? Well, this IML6 is a relatively new brand. They have an L7, and that's the sedan, sort of earlier one to this. I don't know if it's a little bit bigger, I think it is. And then they also have an LS6 and an LS7. Those are the SUV variants, but this is really the Model 3 competitor. I would say it's a very close competitor to the Xiaomi SU7, which we just made a video with. It's already live on this channel. You can go and check that out. But right here from the outside looking in, things are looking really good. They have one of the best tires on sale as a factory option. It's the Hankook Ion Evo tire, which is incredible dry performance and wet performance, incredible range, and we've just had such great experience with this particular tire. You can see they're using name brands like Continental here on the brake caliper in this specific orange color for IM. And then you start to see features like it has crab walk and track mode and preconditioning and rear steer, of course. Crab walk's just a fun feature. And then you learn, oh, it's actually a hatchback, unlike the Model 3. And you go, wow, what the heck is going on over in China? Now, I'm not here to say that this is a better car than a Model 3 just because I'm not 100% familiar with it. But I am here to say there's competition in the EV space in China. It's driving prices down. It's making companies build new features and new ways to earn clients with new ecosystems. And the IML6 is actually not going to be limited to China. I've heard this car will be offered in the UK, perhaps in Europe, and maybe one day, who knows, here in the US. It seems unlikely at the moment, but it's never impossible, is it? So I'd like to take you on a tour of this car, and I'd like to drive it with you for the first time and see what the heck is going on. Let me show you inside, first of all. Come on over here and take a look at this. It just has an interesting interior layout, massive displays, everything is touchscreen. And the IML6 is an SAIC branded vehicle, so it's under that group, which has some GM partnership or ownership or something, you know, little GM collaboration in there. But just double pane is looking nice. You have everything is looking super high quality and really cool. So I think let's go on a tour first of all, and I'm going to start by opening the front trunk, showing you the rear trunk storage, charging capacity, all that good stuff, and then yeah, then we'll drive it. The IML6, let's start with some storage space. And we're coming under here, a small, very small front trunk in comparison to Model 3. Also, this just pops out. I guess it's removable and it's intentional. Then you put this here and then close it up. Okay, that feels a little bit cheap, I have to say, but the car is cheap. This car is $12,000 less than a Model 3 Performance. Now, in China, I think that price difference is true. Why is this car so cheap? Well, this is what I've been struggling to wrap my head around. There are certainly like sort of government subsidies to manufacturing. I don't know what portion that plays, of course, a little bit. They also have a completely different supplier base with a much more mature EV-ready supply base than we have here in the US and in other markets, in Europe especially. And so I think you're just seeing these incredible value Chinese cars that are direct competitors to Model 3. This car also has some really cool tech in it. This one is the Max Performance version, which is like fully big boy spec. You can get this thing down to 30 grand, cheaper than a Model 3 base, and then you just get rear drive and a 90-ish kilowatt hour NMC battery pack, a little bit smaller. However, did I close the front hood all the way? I don't think so. Maybe it's one of those you got to slam down. We'll close that later on. This one has a semi-solid state battery in it. I think this is the 100 kilowatt hour version that uses a sort of gel-like electrode in the battery pack. And it means that you can get a little bit more energy density and also crazy charging performance, all this good stuff, very high voltage, like almost 900 volt right here. And yeah, just really, really cool tech. This is one of the very few semi-solid state batteries on the market. Also, they will have a full solid state battery that enables 1,002 kilometers of range in their drive cycles, CLTC or any DC, I don't know which they went in. And I think that's not in production yet, but they're close, which is really exciting. So come around the back. Let me show you this in terms of storage as well. The size comparison to Model 3, it feels a little bit bigger, a little bit chunkier. And you've got this very cool customizable light bar in the back where you can see right now it's set on a person walking. I don't know if the camera can pick that up, Alyssa. Yep, okay. And then we can show you the trunk space. So it is quite a large opening, but I have to say a really bad job of packaging. This is really, you know, it's just like they have their magnet system here, so you can put accessories and mount them down there. I don't know if you can see that right there, but then, you know, it's just like very narrow, very much in, like they really just didn't factor in the space at all. And one issue, I actually played around with this car yesterday. While you're driving, you almost cannot see out the back at all. And every car seems a little bit good and bad. And one thing that I think is happening in the Chinese market is there's this huge compression of development time where you see new brands spinning up. They're producing cars very quickly. So the development cycles are completely different than a traditional American or European development process. And I think it leads to weird decisions like this, where you're getting, yes, check the hatchback off the list, but in comparison to Model 3, it just doesn't seem like it's that much more space. To show you over here, if we come on over, I can show you the trunk space in the Model 3. And while it's not a hatch, it doesn't seem like it's that different. Still, maybe not as large of an opening, but seems almost deeper in there, Alyssa, don't you think? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it just seems, you know, like, okay, that's a weird decision. But then you think about, okay, this has a rear steering system, it has adjustable air suspension, has adjustable dampers, it's got some crazy cool stuff going on. And yeah, this is what Tesla is going up against. Let's jump inside. I want to try out the rear seat room right here for a second. So jumping in the back, wow, huge glass roof. If you can peek your camera up in here, that comes way behind my head. There's over 22 speakers in this thing, speakers all around the car, which is hilarious. The seat's angled back, very comfortable. I would say like the interior materials aren't totally top notch. It feels like certainly one step down from a totally smooth grain leather. I mean, it just doesn't feel, to me, nearly as nice as the Xiaomi SU7 that we got to play around with. That really seems like the choice over this one. But again, I could really see a case being made for this car just because of the software functions and features of this thing. I'm gonna have you guys jump in the front seat right over here. I'm gonna jump as well, and we're gonna go through some of the software features. I think most of you watching this video are pretty familiar with what Tesla has to offer. So if you jump in here, I can show you a lot of what the screen can do. Okay guys, just because the sun's right in our face, let's flip around. So you just go into drive. It's got this stupid yoke thing, but you can option a normal wheel on here. And of course it's got, like I mentioned, rear steer. So we can flip this around, and we'll talk about some of the driving dynamics and behaviors when we go out for a drive in a little bit. But here I'm able just to show you a bit more of the screen and architecture and what this thing is even capable of. We're not going to go on a full tour, but you can see lots of options for seat settings and things like that. And there are some like weird refinements in this car, like the seat motors. You can feel them working hard, going up and down. And but overall, like if we just think about what this car is, you've got adjustable air vents through software. You've got relatively nice door pockets. It's all pretty padded material. It's not like the end of the world. Certainly I could see the Chinese market liking this. And I've got Alyssa mic'd up now, so I'd like to get your first impressions of this one.
The interior, honestly, is not my favorite. All the material is very chunky.
Yeah.
Very, I think they're trying to go for a very comfortable look. But yeah, the pricing wise, this screen is absolutely gorgeous. I feel like this one's not even necessary, but it's here.
Yeah, and I think this is all height adjustable, by the way.
What, really?
Yeah, this screen somehow goes up and down. I saw in a video.
Yeah, so I mean, overall first impression, not a fan of the materials or how, you know, plush they are, and that steering wheel's terrible.
Yeah, this is terrible, but you can at least get the round wheel.
Right, yeah.
I guess the idea with this is to not have it block the screen in any way, which is full touch screen. Everything's got a crazy fast processor on it, which is unbelievable. You can open and close your charging port right from here. And there's some other cool features in here, Alyssa, that I wanted to show everyone. You have your, first of all, drive mode settings, so sport, eco, comfort. You've got a personal one that you can do. You've got crab walk mode that you can go into, and then you can drive it sideways. I'll insert a clip of that. So I can turn it on here. I can activate crab walk. I can go into drive, and then I have two gauges to tell me the maximum steering angle that I can input and the maximum speed. So as we head off here, we have creep mode. I can go basically there, 100% steering input, and we can even increase the speed. And look at this, it's like we're driving completely sideways, and we'll go right up until we don't smash into the building. And I'm going a little bit quick, and there we go, crab walking this way. So it feels similar to the Hummer, but a much quicker steering ratio. And I really love these gauges to help you figure out the limitations. This thing is honestly pretty damn cool, I have to say. And then we're out, and it has a terrible steering wheel, but we'll gloss over that for now because it's a sedan with crab walk. What the heck? It's amazing. Crab walking, and there it goes. So in China, you just have normal sedans that make 800 horsepower and crab walk, and then have a sign on the back that says crab walking. It's crazy. What the heck is going on over there? I can't wait to do all these videos. It's going to be freaking epic. It's track mode here that you can go into. Look at the screen up here. How cool is that? And now you're in track mode, and it's this whole big thing. It even makes it says radio check 1 2 3. Feels like you're a race car driver.
Yeah, it feels like you're in a sim.
Yeah, so you can see my brake pedal pressure here, my accelerator pedal pressure there. And so, you know, you're able to monitor exactly what I'm doing. You can see if we're in ABS mode, or if we're in a drift situation, your battery and motor average temperatures, really cool. So it's like IM Race. So you really get this incredible software package around performance, and you can do a couple things with it. So you can go for like a drag strip mode where you select this, and now it will help you in a launch configuration. So I did that yesterday and it was pretty cool. You've also got your sort of configurable track mode. So this is your power split front to rear. Basically I think it will limit the front motor down a little bit and give you more on the back perhaps. You've got traction control, stability control, regen, a bunch of settings if you want pre-chilling of the drivetrain on or off. It's really quite incredible what you can do with this thing. You can actually hear it pre-chilling right now. This is more of a track endurance mode, I believe. That might be like a hot lap. This might be more for endurance driving. I'm not sure what this setting is. And this is, I think, your previous lap history. So you can pull up all of your track stuff from other things. Now, are people in China actually going to the track in their 700 plus horsepower electric cars? I don't know. Also, should 750 horsepower electric cars cost 40 grand? I don't know, but I love it. I'm here for it. But I think people are just like smashing these things up left and right in China.
Maybe, but
It's kind of cool.
yeah, I mean, it's a lot of car for the money, for sure.
Certainly. Now, some people may not like the gimmickiness of the screen. They care more about the driving dynamics. But I think in China especially, there's like this culture around software and features and integration of everything. And this car certainly seems so well sorted from a feature set standpoint. For example, here's all of your driver assistance menus. You've got pilot and beta modes and other stuff that I don't even know what that means, but you can go around and see if this changes the view. Yeah, auto lane change as an example. You can, I guess, go plus percentage from speed. Ben could probably walk us through more of this in general, but there's just so many things. You can have it, point out people, for example, at nighttime, and so many possibilities here with software. Now, I think the Xiaomi does a much better job of all of this than this car. The IM-L6 is a really cool, like, first experience, but I don't know, the Xiaomi was amazing, Alyssa, and that costs about the same. And I just felt like I fit better in there. There was just less padded material. It was much more like a Chinese car. This is what I would imagine a Chinese car to be like. That was like really a Western car.
Yeah, that was definitely more geared towards the Germans. This is definitely geared towards more of a typical Chinese car, where it does have more of that padding, plushness, and I mean, what do we know? We've only been in so many Chinese cars too.
Right. I mean, we've been in quite a few of them actually, I think. And so in general, that Model 3 right there, if you just look over that way, that's a well-sorted car that's very popular in our market now. And I think everyone's mostly familiar with it for the very minimalism take. It doesn't really have that many gimmicks or that many features. This kind of has a lot of that same functionality, same capability, much bigger battery, much more range, much faster charging in this one, and certainly crazy screens. What I'm curious about is, does it drive well? So let's go take it for a drive, and then we'll see what the heck Tesla's up against. There's 100 new EV automaker startups. This one's a very exciting one. I am really carrying a lot of weight in the market. Not saying it's certainly as exciting as the Xiaomi. That got a full dedicated video, but I think this gives an impression of like a general Model 3 competitor in China. All right, guys, we are out in the IM-L6, and this is a car that I've been pretty excited about because I think, the Xiaomi certainly is on another level of excitement and build quality and total tuning quality, I would say. Let's just hope this person's watching for us so they don't crash into us. Thank you. And yeah, here we are, I'd say, in a little bit more of a general Chinese electric sedan. And I know Ben Ure says we should go to the right, but I'm actually going to go to the left and just go drive around. I've got a massive camera that comes up when I hit the left turn signal here. I wonder if it does the same when I click the right turn signal over there. That's really nice. That is a beautiful display, very high quality camera, absolutely huge. It also has the easy brake function where I can hit the brake and it lifts off right at the end to come to a smooth stop. So what's interesting is I kept pretty firm, solid pressure, and right at the end it let up so we didn't get a big jerking motion. It also can see the stoplights ahead. It's got a left arrow there that's red, so it knows we have a red light. It knows the straight is green. And this vehicle also supports, not in the US, but full self-driving on the highway and the city,
And back when we were looking at the settings, when I saw the auto lane change, that was actually driving aggressiveness. So it's like, do you want it to drive fast and cut people off, or slow and gentle? And it can really adjust throughout, your driving. So very similar to Tesla in terms of all of that. Now, I'm not sure in terms of daily functionality if it's better or worse than Tesla FSD and how well FSD works in China. But I will say, like, in terms of features and driver assistance, most every other car in the US that we're talking about and dealing with is like highway lane centering. And we're like benchmarking those. And then there's Tesla's really the only ones doing city turning, stopping at lights. But in China, so many cars are offering a FSD-like competitor set and suite that it's really, no longer a key advantage to Tesla for offering that kind of tech, which makes this car all the more attractive. So it's gone green here now. It must be a little bit different light than we have in China because it didn't totally catch that. It's also rough lighting conditions, but let's just go down here. We're just going to take it nice and gently and just see how this car is from a comfort perspective. I think one of the real main problems with it is that limited view out the back. Now, that's just this particular car, but one thing I have to say, and Alyssa, maybe you can comment, this feels really quiet and extremely comfortable. What's the opinion from the back seat so far?
Yeah, I mean, these cushy plush seats that I was talking about earlier, I mean, I definitely see why they are the way they are. This makes this backseat experience really nice. I have been playing actually with their little magnetic things really quickly, and quite frankly, they suck. But that otherwise, with comfort wise, if you get the normal backseat experience. You have the cup holder that folds down and pretty decent headrest, great headroom, and a bunch of speakers back here. There's one, two, three, four, 5, 6, 7 little speakers back here. Lots of speakers.
So cruising in comfort mode. I don't like the steering wheel very much, but I think we can get over that. One thing we did yesterday is Ben and I launched this car, and it was absolutely ludicrous in terms of its performance. I mean, it launched so hard. So I'm going to insert the clip right now of the straight line performance of the L6. I think you guys will be really impressed. Guys, I am L6 launch. This car's $42,000. It crab walks. It's got full track mode with battery and motor temperatures, semi-solid state battery. Have to look into that. And we're going to do a full launch control. So left foot hard on the brake, flooring it with the right. It's doing something. I think we're good to go. There we go. 3, 2, 1. Oh my gosh. It's fast as hell. Way faster than the Dodge Charger EV. And wow, this is totally impressive. What a experience. I hate the steering wheel, but like, so cool. And here we are now heading out, just going around a corner really quick just to see kind of how it feels. Wow, rear steer really helping quite a bit. Getting on the power, even in comfort mode, tons of acceleration and juice available right there. That's really neat. And I can pull down this, and we're in pilot mode, so I don't think it'll see the yellow light. So I'm going to get on the brakes and take over. And I'm keeping constant brake pedal pressure just to show everyone. And right at the end, it's going to back off the brakes and come to a smooth, gentle stop. I still think that last 1 mile per hour, it grabs a little too hard. It feels like some of those one-pedal drive cars that are not totally tuned well. This also supports one-pedal driving. And actually, the Xiaomi had a much better brake pedal smooth stop function. But it's interesting how that's literally an option in this car that you can choose from. So I think to get actually over to the highway, we go straight, Ben?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, we're going to jump on the highway, just go up and down one exit, see how it is at highway cruising. But in comparison to a Tesla Model 3, I think this car offers a lot more adjustability, a lot more different functions, definitely a completely wild software experience. And, for some people, they may like that. I still think the Model 3, from a safety perspective, from other things, might be the car of choice. And I don't know, has D-Car crash tested this one yet?
Yeah, we did.
How'd it do?
Not bad.
Not bad.
Not
okay,
bad.
Cool. Tesla still did really well
I'll
as
give
well.
you the crash test footage. Too.
Oh, okay. Ben's going to send us the crash test footage so we can throw that in. Yeah, in general, I would say, like, it's actually a competitor, which is something is really hard to say here in the US market. There's almost nothing that comes close to Model 3, so it's pretty amazing. So let's jump on the highway, see how well it cruises, You can see all the cars around here. You can move it around just like FSD. I mean, like, this is stuff that if any other car for sale in our market showed any of this, people would go insane. And it's just like the standard for the Chinese cars to show everything around you, and in super high quality and in super high refresh rate and extreme response. It's totally incredible. Before we jump on the highway, I just want to mention a couple points about this car as well, because I think the driving dynamics portion of Chinese cars seems to be improving rapidly. Early on with those compressed development cycles, I think driving dynamics went out the window, but this car is double wishbone front suspension, multi-link rear. This is like really high-end things here happening, and it all is down to the tuning and making sure it's good. But I have to say, like, drives great, very comfortable, really, honestly, pretty fun and agile with that rear steer as well. And we're going to jump onto the highway, so I'm going to hold back a little bit. Ben, I hope you're holding on. Let's rip it onto the highway and see how it does going around this corner. So, accelerating up, send it into the corner, full power. Wow, really good. Getting on the brake pedal. Stuff's flying everywhere. Sorry about that. And it's just really fun, actually. So to get to the launch control is this one. Let's go in here. I think I have it all kind of dialed. It's doing its thing. We'll hit this. Left foot hard on the brake. Floor it with the right. And we'll let them get ahead. 3, 2, 1, and go. Whoa, roasted the tires at a launch. Alyssa, your impression of the power compared to Model 3? It's certainly faster.
Yeah, it certainly gets up there, gets going, and that's it's a ton of fun.
Yeah, really, really cool what this thing can do. And then you can get on the road and just throw it into autopilot, and it's doing it all right here. Crazy. It literally looks just like Tesla coming through here. I imagine we can take this exit. Next one, okay. Let's just hang on tight. I'm sure I can force it over. As long as there's pavement, we're okay. Go back into pilot mode. And yeah, we'll be getting off here in about a half a mile. But cruising on the highway, quiet, very comfortable. Definitely feels quieter than Model 3. I wonder if it makes the lane change. Yep, auto lane change, very aggressive lane change. Whoa. That was crazy. And then most Chinese cars, you have to push the signal the other way to have them cancel. Let's do one more lane change. That felt a little bit smoother, don't you think, Alyssa?
Yeah, that one wasn't as wishbone-y in the back here.
Right, yeah, that was pretty wild. And I've taken over right there. Lady speaking to me in Chinese. I don't know what she's saying, but doesn't matter. We're now in control. It's just like the feature set between this. So in the US, whenever we compare Tesla to other cars, there's always like a few people that go, well, does it have FSD? I'm not interested unless it does. And then you go here and you're like, actually, yep, it seems to have, at least on paper, an equivalent set of features to what Tesla offers. And you go, wow, that's crazy. How is that even possible? Because in our market, nothing has anything close to this. Okay. So with all that said, let's run back and kind of share our final thoughts on Tesla Model 3 versus a couple of the Chinese electric sedans, notably this IM L6 that we've played around with. And yep, we'll end the video here in just a minute. All right, guys, we're pulling back in, and have to say, like, just cruising around in this car is really cool. The rear steer makes it feel super nimble, even though it feels bigger than a Model 3, and it's just, you know, it's a really very feature heavy car. There's even AI functions where if you drive around a city, it will take you on like a tour and show you what you're looking at. And there's just so much deep functionality in this car. But there's also a parking function that we should try out. So how do we activate that? So we'll, okay, so we'll wait till it finds a parking space. Okay, so we'll say, okay, this one, right?
Yeah.
And then I'll click this. And then do I let off everything now? Mm-hmm. Okay. So I'm going to let it auto park. It's so fun. She talks way too much. The same in the Xiaomi. Too much talking going on here. So it's, you know, a lot of cars have auto park. This doesn't seem to be anything super different from what's available in the market. Except it is fairly damn accurate, which is cool. It gets us right over and in there. That's awesome. Nice. And it comes up with this nice little graphic. Perfect success, is it says to itself, which is pretty cool. So overall, I mean, actually, let's go through the charging settings on here. So if I come here to vehicle, then how do we get to that?
Interesting. Charging.
Okay, what does this one mean?
A charging appointment.
Oh, okay, to
Yeah.
reserve one maybe?
Yeah.
Okay. So you can set it down to 80% or up to 100. It's interesting because it doesn't want you to go below 80% because it's, I guess, a different type of battery chemistry here. So you can choose CLTC rated range or based off previous driving. So that's 536 kilometers versus 683 on CLTC. And this setting, Ben, what is this one?
Warm up the battery to the right temperature.
Ah,
before you charge.
preconditioning. Okay, so you can auto precondition it or manual precondition, I guess, right there, which is pretty neat. And this one?
This one
Discharging.
is discharge.
Yeah, so this supports 6.6 kilowatt vehicle to load. Again, another functionality that Tesla doesn't have, and you can charge another car off of this or really anything you want. You can set how low you want the battery to go. That's a really common feature in Chinese EVs that I absolutely love, and I hope to see more of here in the US as well. This bidirectionality is super important, I think, when you have such a big battery. So, bunch of apps. I think this is a really good example of like a general Chinese electric car. Certainly not top tier like the Xiaomi was, but it's still an incredible car, an incredible value. And I think, yeah, let's just end with some final thoughts outside, and then that'll be the video.
Well, guys, that's what I would imagine a typical Model 3 competitor to look like. It seems insane. Crab walking, straight line performance, FSD on the city and highway in beta, similar to Tesla, LiDAR, rear steer, incredible car, no question. If this was for sale in the US, it would be incredible. That's not to say every single little thing about it is totally refined and sorted, and I still get the sense that some of this rapid development time means some of that last 5% of tuning certainly could use some dialing in, but that's where over-the-air software updates come into, and of course, I think we're just gonna see a bunch of these startup competitors to Tesla and other cars in there really make a big difference. Come on over here with me. I want to show you one other car. We have a full dedicated video already live on this channel here. This is the Xiaomi SU7, and this is probably the best option when we're really looking at a Model 3 competitor. Absolutely insane technology, absolutely insane driving dynamics. This really drove super nice, and it was just on an all-season tire, and everything about this car is so cool. So we have a full dedicated video on this one right here. I hope you guys enjoyed learning about the IM-L6 with that semi-solid state, cool tech, fast charging, crazy stuff going on over there. And well, let's just say the Chinese car market is maturing very quickly. It's rapidly evolving, and it's going to require a lot more time to really understand it from the outside looking in. But having this opportunity thanks to D-Car has been amazing. So shout out to D-Car. I'll leave their information in the description below if you're curious to see what other cars they have here and maybe some of the reviews from everyone else playing around with their cars. And well, that's the end of the video. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you on another one again soon. Bye-bye.